Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Starrapter and welcome back to the channel. It's the week of July 3rd, 2024, and we have the Inquisitors comic book that just premiered, and we also have the penultimate issue of the High Republic. So before we get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I talk about the Star Wars comics every week on this channel, plus more for Star Wars, so make sure you subscribe if you are a Star Wars fan that is interested in that. Getting into it, we have the High Republic Phase 3, issue number 9. This one is The Hunted, and this is Death on Shinku Station. Of course, written by Keeve Scott, with possibly a new art by Laura Braga. I don't that name does not ring a bell with Star Wars artwork. So, congratulations on getting on board with the Star Wars comics. Good to see ya. Great art overall. Really felt natural to what we've seen with Ariane and Dito's artwork. But yes, where we left off is we have Keeve Trennis, we have Sirrek, we have Sarah, we have Tey Sirrek, we have Sskeer, we have Lorna D. All these characters are converging on Shinku Station, where Baron Boolan, who is one of the administrators of Marchion Row of the Nile, this guy is responsible for doing experiments on a nameless. He also has these people called Children of the Storm, which he experiments on, these Force sensitives, and that is where they have brought this Yokumbi Force sensitive child. One of these Children of the Storm brought this girl there. In the last issue, we see Lorna D sets explosives on this ship, unbeknownst to the rest of the crewmates there. And yeah, so we open up in this issue, and we have Sskeer and we have Tey Sirrek, who have been captured by Boolan. So we have the character of Keeve Trennis, who, by the way, in the last issue, has successfully decapitated a Nameless. She was able to push through those feelings of fear and kill the Nameless. So she is running to go and save Tey Sirrek and Sskeer. And then meanwhile, we have Lorna D, who's taking the child Yokumbi that got rescued back onto their ship, onto the Ataraxia, to try to get out of there safely. So we have all these different storylines going on. And the big thing here is we have Baron Boolan using that Sith artifact weapon that Tey Sirrek had been using for literally over 100 years. So we have that all going on. Sskeer ends up getting, basically, I don't know if it was the right word, persuaded, I guess is the best way to put it, by Baron Boolan to join his side suddenly, very much out of left field, after he spoke to him in a Trandoshan language. So that was very interesting there. And then we end up going into the big stuff here, and that is when we have Sirrek and Sarah. They have these Nameless that are sent onto them, and then they set off a bomb that they had planted apparently before, and Sirrek seemingly dies in this issue. We get the feeling Sarah doesn't feel Sirrek anymore, and that's happened before, so this might feel like more of a bait and switch. But we have Lorna D trying to hold this ship together from all the explosives as Sirrek and Sarah are trying to disarm the main bomb. And then meanwhile, we have Keeve Trennis just out there doing her thing, fighting, trying to keep things together. And we have Orbalin, who is also there. I forgot to mention that guy, the gooey guy. So there's a lot of action. This whole issue is basically a big action set piece. And by the end of it, Boolan is getting away on his cruiser. And then Lorna D makes a heroic sacrifice. She ends up she gets a vector, Jedi Vector, flies out after Orbalin, or not Orbalin, Boolan. Sorry, the names are getting, there's a lot of names in High Republic, guys, so bear with me here. We have Boolan getting away, and then she ends up getting destroyed by Boolan because she doesn't realize she needs a lightsaber to power on the main guns of the Jedi Vector. So seemingly we have lost Lorna D, we have lost Sirrek, and now Sskeer is being basically by the side of Boolan according to his own will. So that's how this issue ends. There's a lot of loss, a lot of kind of unknown that is happening, and I'm just a little bit perturbed that they're going to end this in one issue, and there's so much to tie up. Obviously, it's the High Republic. We already know we're getting audio drama from Penguin House, which is going to have Keeve Trennis in it, but I would have liked to see these comics carry on, because apparently the High Republic adventures are carrying on for quite a bit. So there you have it. That was the penultimate issue of the High Republic. Now, that was the penultimate, but we are also starting a brand new limited series, mini-series, I believe, 4 issues of Star Wars Inquisitors. This one is Tensu Run Must Die. And we have Rodney Barnes on writing. Yes, this guy that has been bringing us very well written Mandalorian adaptations, but I've always been kind of down on them because Rodney Barnes has had his hands tied behind his back. He hasn't been able to add anything new from his perspective to any of those adaptations. So now it's great to see him working with Marvel with an all-new original story with Raymond Rosales, who, oh my gosh, this guy has done, I believe, the Bounty Hunter comics. He has done such a great job with those. So to see these two pair up together, I was blown away. This is my favorite new comic book. I'll just say it right out, right there. The Inquisitors, right? This has been a faction of the Star Wars galaxy that have been getting a deep dive ever since Rebels, and then we got the Cal Kestis interactions with Second Sister and Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. Then we end up having the stuff going on with, what is it, the third sister, I think is her name, or the fourth sister in, what is it, the Tales of the Empire, right? We have the Darth Vader comics that really shed some light on them. And this is in that same period as the Darth Vader comics that Charles Soule has written, right? This is probably, I would guess, maybe 5 years or so ish into the timeline after Revenge of the Sith. And basically what it is you have this guy Tensu Run who has started a Jedi Order. Things have been going okay, and Darth Vader has gotten scent of that. Grand Inquisitor has gotten scent of that, and we open up with one of the most terrifying openings in any Star Wars combat a comic of late, where Grand Inquisitor has a bunch of innocent people gathered up from this planet that Tensu Run was seen on, and he's basically telling them, like, look, give me this information or I'm going to kill you, and nobody's fessing up. These people are very, very loyal to this Tensu Run for some reason. It gets to the point where nobody's telling him what he wants to know, that he ends up singling out all the children of these people, gets them to his side and says, okay, kill the parents. It's like one of the darkest moments in Star Wars, in my opinion, in a long time. They don't show anything, but of course, leave things up to the imagination. These poor kids are now orphans because their parents were just not giving information, whether they knew or not. It's still, this is the Empire at its, height. They just don't give a crap. They just want to get their goals. And the reason why this guy's a big deal, he's not no smuck Jedi. This guy has actually liberated an entire imperial outpost of innocents and caused unrest, and actually has like a little Jedi Order. And we get to see Tensu Run's history. Vader's explaining it to Grand Inquisitor, and Tensu is this, Jedi that basically he didn't think he would survive this long. And he didn't want to be like the poster child for like the freedom of the Jedi, because he has his master who is sickly. He has a bunch of Jedi followers, and they have this planet, but they also have a mobile station. And by the end of this, we see the mobile station get completely taken over by the Grand Inquisitor, who kills his master, kills and exterminates all the other guys. And then Tensu Run, he's on another planet with a couple other people. But this is a great backstory. I'm really liking how Rodney Barnes gave us this fully fleshed out backstory. I wasn't expecting to get much about this character, but he's already one of my favorite Jedi. This guy's up there with Cal Kestis, Kyle Katarn. Like, he's really badass. He's got these cool goggles. He's going around with a blue lightsaber. He's also slinging a blaster, kind of like Kanan Jarrus. And he's just an all-around good guy, and I like just the framing device of this issue, where it's like you have Grand Inquisitor narrating the beginning and the end, sort of the same kind of paraphrase things. And overall, this is a huge win. I like where Marvel has been going with these miniseries, really hitting it off. These 4-issue miniseries, starting with Mace Windu, then Jango Fett, and now the Inquisitors book is just so good with fleshing out the details of all these bad Jedi, or bad old Jedi, right? We also have a Sloth Jedi, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm really hoping this character survives. I would love to see Tensu Run survive and maybe meet Cal Kestis one day. Maybe meet Quinlan Vos and Asajj Ventress and Ahsoka Tano. And this could be a really rich opening of the Star Wars continuity that has just been done thanks to Raman and Rodney. So there you have it. Those were the comics that came out this week. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars, you're already in the right place. It is the Acolyte season, so I'm doing plenty of content on the channel through it, different podcasts and different videos on the website here on YouTube. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe for that content. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.